PDHPE, You and the Profession by Zoe Heath, 11490981. Me and my PDHPE experiences. From a very early age, I was immersed in sport, starting swimming lessons at the age of 2 and then gymnastics at 4. My sister and I would ride our push bikes around the backyard pretending that we were professional BMX champions. I believe that my parents chose to immerse me in physical activity not only because of the health benefits, but also because I was able to make positive relationships with other children. I attended a very small primary school of only 14 students, therefore it must have been difficult for the teachers to cater for the different age groups and ability levels when they wrote their programs. As an infant, I remember going outside under the acorn tree that had just shed its leaves to play a game with the round colourful parachute. It consisted of the students each grasping a handle and trying to keep the ball on the parachute. Friday afternoon was when sport was played, and it normally consisted of a school game of soccer. Some variety of sport on Friday afternoons would have been beneficial, as different sports and activities provide the opportunities to practice a range of skills. My primary school combined with other small schools for various sporting days, soccer and hockey gala days, cross-country, athletic and swimming carnivals. I enjoyed competing against friends I made at these carnivals, as it gave me a boost in confidence when we would beat each other in the events. I won Junior Girl Champion at the Athletics Carnival and broke the high jump record. I made it to region for breaststroke and was disqualified, and I made it to Western for cross country. High school was very different to primary school in terms of physical activity, as there were a lot more sporting teams to consider joining, and the variety of physical activity that gym lessons supplied. We had to get changed into casual clothes for PE, the boys and girls classes were separate a lot of the time, and there was a larger time allocation for physical activity. We had 5 physical activity classes compared to the 2 physical education classes a fortnight. At the beginning of high school, I competed in the athletics carnival, swimming carnival, cross-country, soccer and netball teams. This was due to my PDHPE teacher encouraging me after analysing my efforts in class. However, by the end of high school, I wasn't too fazed by sport, as my education and HSC became more important to me. High school sports brought a lot of fun times and great achievements, with me placing 9th in the 90-metre hurdles when I was 15. After this, I stopped doing in-school sport and out-of-school sport, as my HSC became my main priority. I believe that both my negative and positive experiences of physical activity and education have shaped my current attitudes toward PDHPE. Physical activity and education are vital to students throughout their schooling. However, it is the way that the educator immerses the students in this key learning area that will determine their positive or negative attitudes towards this subject. The PDHPE Educator. The way in which my high school PDHPE teacher showed her motivation and perseverance suggests to me that all teachers should have this attitude. The ideal PDHPE teacher is a role model to their students, therefore it is important that their appearance and attitude provide a guideline. The teachers should have their hair tied back, as it can become a health and safety issue. For example, if you are playing soccer and you are running around with your hair flapping in your face and eyes, it makes it difficult to see what you are doing, therefore could cause an injury. The teacher should demonstrate the types of clothing and footwear that is appropriate to successfully complete the components of the physical activity. A polo shirt with a collar, shorts or tights and joggers are the most appropriate items of clothing for physical education. Therefore, they do not restrict the variety of movements. My idea of a PDHPE teacher's body type is thin and lean. However, in reality, it should not matter what body type the teacher has, as long as they are participating and demonstrating to the students. No matter what kind of teacher you are, positive attitudes and relationships with students are valuable because they can allow insight into the students' lives outside the classroom. It allows for a mutual respect between peers and a safe environment to learn in. However, in order to successfully achieve positive relationships with the students, good communication skills are required. Graham, Hussey, Taylor and Werner, 1993, proposed that in terms of instructional events, the presentation of the instructional task is critical. Teachers should encourage the students to participate by demonstrating and participating themselves, and giving positive feedback in turn boosts a student's self-confidence and esteem. A confident and competent educator would ensure that the students being taught had some prior knowledge of the skills required for the specific activity commencing. If the students' prior knowledge varied significantly, it is important that the students learn the necessary skills. For example, if the students were about to play a lacrosse game, it would be essential that the students practice throwing, catching, and trapping the ball. The research undergone by Rink 2003 states that if students are to learn a skill well enough to use it in a game situation, that sufficient time must be allocated for learning the skills. At the end of the activity, the teacher should encourage the students to discuss and reflect on what they liked and didn't like about the lesson. This helps the teacher prepare future lessons. It is crucial that the teacher enjoys working with children and has reasonable skills in a wide range of physical activities to ensure that they are capable of catering for a wide range of students' skills and abilities. A PDHPE teacher must be able to plan appropriate lessons according to the age group and skill level of students being taught. However, these lessons should be challenging to the students to keep them occupied and enthused. A PDHPE teacher that explicitly demonstrates all or most of these abilities is committed to personal health and physical education in a way that is highly valued in the profession. PDHPE and educational settings, my position. Kirk et al. 1996 suggests that many schools' physical education holds a lower status than other school subjects. This inequity means that less time is allocated for PDHPE. I believe that PDHPE should be highly valued in the primary school setting as it improves quality of life, promotes participation, addresses a wide range of issues both personal and community-wide, and provides foundations for further study. Teachers need to make sure that students have the opportunities to make choices about their own lives. Students can make informed decisions and actions about their own lifestyles. Therefore, the programs that teachers create need to assist students in becoming aware of the processes involved in decision making. The skills of effective communication, interaction, decision making, and problem solving empowers the students to take action leading to better health. It is essential that the students gain these skills and knowledge so that they can work towards better health for themselves. Living and learning in a safe environment is a big factor in the development of children. Although the teacher cannot provide a safe environment at home, they can speak to the students about topics that relate to the home environment, such as safe and unsafe practices, safety near animals and machines, road and water safety, and emergency procedures. ACPA 1993 explains that physical education is any process that increases a child's ability and desire to participate in a socially responsible way in physical activity in forms of games, sports, dance, adventure activities, and other leisure pursuits. The way in which students are introduced to and experience physical activity can influence their skills, emotion, and attitude towards physical education. Therefore, it is important that the teacher explains to the students why exercise is important and the effects it has on their bodies, both positively and negatively. Compared to the educator that I have outlined in the previous section, I am nothing like my idea of the ideal PDHPE teacher. This assignment has opened my eyes to the benefits of physical activity and education in the primary setting by allowing me to analyse my personal experiences and choices due to a change in attitude towards PDHPE. Tinning, Kirk and Evans 1993 suggests that what students will learn will depend on many factors, including their out-of-school experiences and the nature of the subtle interaction and communications in the classroom environment. Tinning, Kirk and Evans 1993 also express that if physical education is or has been a positive feature of their lives, they seem more likely to teach physical education with their class. This relates to my experiences that I had on practicum, as my associate had had a bad experience of PDHPE, therefore relaying that negative energy to his students, resulting in little to none physical education and activities. In terms of teaching PDHPE in this K-6 content, I am not extremely worried as there are many resources available to me if I am unsure about something. For example, the New South Wales PDHPE syllabus, Board of Studies, New South Wales 2007, organises the content in numerous strands, which makes it easier to search for outcomes and indicators. I believe that teachers need to be able to plan appropriate lessons depending on the objective required. Resources need to be readily available, and they need to be able to think on the spot just in case something does not go to plan. This is conveyed by Gallahue and Donnelly 2003, who state that teachers who are truly immersed in education spend considerable amounts of time poring over books and notes in order to design lessons that fulfill the needs of the children. Below are the references used in this assignment.